The receptionist smiled as if granting me a favor. "Ah, Mrs. Aldrin." She'd departed an hour prior with a man, seemingly to inspect a venue. I stood there, holding a steaming bag of Thai cuisine. After 17 years of marriage, it was only on Thursdays my wife unexpectedly left work early. I placed the bag on Petra's desk. Her office bore the familiar scent of her home vanilla candle and resembled a miniature version of our house, her desk, her mug, and the framed image of our daughter's high school graduation all present. A note stuck to her monitor read, "Confirm Orchids Saturday." Everything was in its place, as if Petra demanded order. Even her computer screen remained on, the calendar app open, not the company one, but her personal one. She organized it meticulously, using colors for different purposes, blue for meetings and green for personal matters. A recurring entry marked in green or bold had appeared every Thursday for the past 3 months. It lacked a subject line, location, or title. Only a name was there. Every Thursday I found the receptionist still at her post as I exited. She greeted me with a wave, such a kind woman. She likely had no inkling of what she'd just given me. In my truck within seconds, I didn't require long to discern a pattern on my wife's meticulously maintained calendar. I needed a name, not more time. A name I already possessed, but now sought to learn its owner. The Thai meal sat untouched on her desk, growing cold. When she returned, she would discover it. Let her ponder. From the parking lot, I phoned Holt, my site supervisor with whom I've collaborated for 9 years. His wife, Donna, coordinated events at their church and organized catering for every Bexley County fundraiser. If anyone knew the local food vendors, it was Donna. Therefore, I sought his help. 3rd Street office, Dine and Savor. Establishment situated close to the rail crossing. Delicious grub but poor parking. That was enough for me. Holt didn't probe for explanations. He knew me well enough to be patient. Petra, an event coordinator at Waverly Grand, handled weddings, corporate retreats, and holiday banquets. Her role as a caterer made sense theoretically, but her private calendar with no specific details every Thursday for 3 months didn't seem like vendor meetings. It appeared more like appointments she wished to keep off company records. On my way back to the job site, I passed by 3rd Street, just to check it out. Dine and Savor had a modest storefront with a chalkboard menu in the window. Across the road stood Starling Motor Lodge, a 2-story beige building with half-concealed parking lot fenced off. Petra's gray Subaru Outback was parked behind that fence. In the heart of a Thursday afternoon, 2 blocks from a caterer's office, hidden behind a motel. I stopped and took a picture. 6:15, Petra arrived home punctually, a kiss on my cheek followed by her inquiry about my day. Dinner was salmon, asparagus, lemon slices neatly arranged like a magazine shoot, all items in their proper places. "How was work?" she asked. I filled her glass with East Wing Foundation. The day's mess left behind, the evening was clean. I chose to omit mentioning the Thai food. She spoke of a problem with a vendor, a flower arrangement company scheduling double for a Saturday wedding. Her tone was composed, and she chuckled about a colleague spilling coffee on a bride's mood board. Petra excels at compartmentalizing her life, each box closed seamlessly. After dinner, she ascended to shower. Her phone lay on the countertop, screen down. 6 months ago, I would have never disturbed it. 6 months ago, I didn't possess a picture of her car parked at a motel on a Thursday afternoon. My phone was securely locked, but it wasn't necessary since I had my own device. I opened my banking app, as we had shared the login for years. The joint savings account displayed a balance approximately $14,000 less than I recalled from January. Small transactions, $500 or $800 at a time, were transferred to an unfamiliar account. Over 4 months, $11,200 vanished. Petra was still in the shower. I placed the phone face down, exactly where she had left it. On Friday morning, I contacted a lawyer. Not someone I knew socially, not a church member. I found a family attorney in Columbus, about 40 minutes away, distant enough that no one from our town would notice my truck in the parking lot. His name was Gilman, a young and astute professional. Upon viewing the photo and hearing the withdrawal pattern, he asked if money had been moved. When I informed him about the $11,000, he remained unfazed. Initially, Gilman instructed, "Reroute your paycheck to a separate account immediately. I will freeze our shared savings today. Avoid confronting her for now." Making the change required one call to HR. By midday, my income was going somewhere unfamiliar to Petra. Gilman submitted the freeze by the end of the workday. By Friday evening, the joint savings were inaccessible. Petra remained unaware of this change, as she was engrossed in a corporate event at Waverly, her peak season, with fabric samples and floor plans strewn on the dining table. She barely acknowledged my presence when I arrived home. "Good, let her continue planning," he said. Before our move, Gilman requested one more action from me. "Send me a video," he demanded, specifying that it should be him, the motel, next Thursday. Therefore, the weekend was primarily spent in anticipation, but an anticipation with purpose. I utilized those 2 days working on the deck. The rotten boards needed replacement, and new lumber had to be arranged. Holt visited on Saturday with his impact driver and a six-pack, offering help without asking about Orenburn. He assisted me in pulling nails and stacking wood until sundown. On the following Thursday, I departed work ahead of schedule, informed my team about an inspection elsewhere, relocated to 3rd Street, parked behind a laundromat a couple blocks from Starling Motor Lodge, and waited. At 12:47, Petra's Subaru entered the motel parking lot. She parked in the same spot near a fence with the car facing out, ready for quick exit. A black Range Rover followed suit 2 minutes later. The driver alighted, tall, with gray temples, wearing a good coat. He opened Petra's door, she stepped out, and they entered room 14 together. His hand rested on her lower back. Familiar, skilled, that was Orenburn, and that was Thursday. I recorded a 12-second video clip, captured both vehicles, both individuals, the room number, the motel sign, stored it, returned to the site. Later that day, Petra texted me a picture of a table set up for an upcoming gala. "Gold chargers, white roses, what do you think?" she asked. I responded with a thumbs up. She replied with a heart emoji. After the 2 exchanges, I sent Gilman a 12-second video clip. He corroborated my suspicions. In our jurisdiction, evidence of infidelity impacts the distribution of marital property. The $11,000, the motel visits, and the pattern all were relevant. Petra remained unaware of the frozen account, as she hadn't attempted to transfer funds since Tuesday. However, that would change, and when she did, she would discover it. Another Thursday arrived. At 11:30, Petra retrieved her keys from the counter. The same routine: purse, jacket, brief glance in the hallway mirror, and she was out the door by 6 with a casual goodbye over her shoulder. "Say hi to Oren for me." She hesitated. Her keys clinked subtly against her ring. She turned around slowly. A momentary blankness crossed her face, not guilt, not fear, but simply calculation. "What did you say?" I displayed the image on my phone, her Subaru hidden behind a fence, the motel sign in the backdrop, the timestamp clear. I didn't escalate or shout. Instead, I extended the screen silently towards her. Petra fixed her gaze on the screen, her jaw clenching. "That's not Wee's, it's a venue. We were examining their patio area for a space," she explained, correcting me. "Room 14 isn't a patio," Petra clarified. Her expression altered and her confusion vanished, replaced by something more rigid. She advanced towards me. "Did you trail me? You waited in the parking lot," she accused, her tone escalating. "What? I'm envious," she implied, followed by a sum of $11,000 addressed to Petra. This halted her mid-sentence, causing her anger to dissipate like water draining out. The image she could manipulate, but the money she couldn't. Her gaze shifted, not towards me, but towards the hallway behind me, as if she were considering a departure. I informed her that the account has been frozen since Friday. She questioned, "How long have you known?" "Long enough," was her response. Petra removed her keys from her pocket and placed them on the counter. When she eventually spoke, her voice held no emotion. "How long have you known about this? That money of $11,000 from our shared account isn't personal. It's theft," and that word struck a chord. Her palms flattened on the table. "Did you trail me? Sitting in a parking lot snapping photos? This is absurd, Weeze. Every Thursday, that's what's absurd." She grabbed her phone to call Oren right then in my presence. Her voice softened. "He's aware. He has evidence. Don't reach out to me." She hung up before he could respond. The conflict dissipated from her after that call. As if speaking it made it a reality. She pressed her fingertips against her eyes. "It was meant to be temporary," she murmured. "I don't require the plan, Petra." She sat upright. "What do you want?" "Gilman is handling the legalities." I informed her. "The house remains with me. The $11,000 returns to the settlement, or Gilman includes it all in the records." She gave a single nod. "Then does Becca know about this?" "Not yet. I'll be the one to tell her," Petra said. "No. Let her hear it from me. The truth, not your rendition." Petra retrieved her keys, approached the front door, paused, looked over her shoulder. "This wasn't part of my schedule. You had scheduled it for Thursdays, Petra." She departed. Oren phoned me the following morning at 8:15 during my commute to the worksite. The number was unfamiliar, but the voice identified itself swiftly. "This is Oren Bayan. I believe we need to discuss something. Speak with your wife first, then let's see." His wife's name was Margaret. Gilman had previously dispatched a letter to Oren at his business address, Bayan and Feast, 3rd Street. The letterhead was legal, typically opened by whoever handles the mail. Margaret was more than just Oren's wife. She co-owned Buy-In and Feast, her name on the lease, contracts, and insurance. Oren managed the kitchen while Margaret ran the business. 3 days after Gilman's letter arrived, Margaret filed for divorce and demanded a comprehensive accounting of Buy-In and Feast, detailing every dollar received and spent. Oren's attorney contacted Gilman, seeking a discreet resolution to the matter. Gilman informed him it wasn't their client's matter. Holt obtained the news from Donna, who learned it from the church fundraiser committee. Margaret had withdrawn the Bexley County Gala contract already. Rumors spread quickly in such a small town. Simultaneously, Petra shifted residence to her sister's place in Dayton. She didn't contest the house nor the settlement terms. She left 2 suitcases behind while you were at work on a Monday and sent a photo of her key on the kitchen counter. The same counter where she once arranged lemon slices artistically for magazine shoots. Becca visited that weekend, a 5-hour drive from Columbus. Upon entering the kitchen, she saw the empty hooks where Petra's apron previously hung and sat opposite you. She asked me to speak, so I did. Not all details, but enough. Her mother had been secretly involved with someone for months. The marriage had ended. Becca remained composed, biting her lips and nodding. 12-year-old incident echoed as I shared our family dog needed to be euthanized. She held her emotions together, asking if Becca was all right. I'd mistakenly told her Aunt Deanne it was me, Dad, that I meant. Her voice trembled on the last word. It caught me off guard. I made us both coffee, hers as she's taken since high school, excessively creamy. I revealed the truth. I'm angry and tired, but I know my stance. Becca stayed until Sunday. We finally tackled cleaning out the garage, a task I'd postponed for 2 years. She unearthed a box of holiday decorations labeled meticulously by Petra. Gradual Christmas ornaments, good ones. Becca displayed it and almost laughed, but only almost. Yes, she did label everything, Becca noted. We transported the box to the truck. Becca planned to drop it at Aunt Diane's on her way back to school. 2 weeks later, Gilman phoned with the final figures. Petra had signed. The house was mine. 14 years of mortgage installments and her withdrawal records made things clear. The $11,000 was returned to my share following the division. Petra retained her vehicle, retirement plan, and whatever she previously transferred to their separate account, but minus the proven amount. Tidy, streamlined. It would have been an outcome that Petra admired if it had happened to someone else's life. Oren didn't escape unscathed. Margaret's accountant unearthed more than simply the affair. Oren was found to be using company funds for personal expenditures. The catering business was in a complicated dissolution. Donna informed Holt that Margaret took the Bexley County Gala contract and 3 wedding packages within a week. By the end of the month, Oren's name was removed from the Waverly Grand's vendor list. The storefront on 3rd Street went dark. There was no more chalkboard menu displayed in the window. A week after signing, Petra contacted me again for a brief discussion. She acknowledged, "You believe I orchestrated everything, don't you? The finances, the schedule, everything. You are right, you did plan it all." A pause followed. "Then I fear Becca might dislike me. That's your concern and hers." She ended the call. Our last conversation was on Saturday morning. Holt arrived at 7 with his truck filled, containing pressure-treated lumber, deck screws, and a new circular saw he had been eager to use. For 3 years, Petra and I had discussed rebuilding the back terrace, but now there was no more delay. We removed the old boards by 9 in the morning. By noon, the frame was solid and the first new planks were installed. Holt's son, a 19-year-old quiet boy adept with a drill, joined us later. The 3 of us worked until the shadows grew long and the air carried the scent of freshly cut pine. Becca phoned me while I was sweeping sawdust from the new deck. "How does it look?" "Come see it next weekend. Bring that grill you've been talking about, the Weber." After Holt departed, she chuckled. "A genuine instance." For the first time in weeks, I stood on the fresh terrace with a beer in hand. The boards were pristine and unblemished, devoid of any stains or scuffs. Every prospect lay ahead for them. The yard extended to the tree line where the last rays of sunlight kissed the oak tops. My phone vibrated, displaying Gilman. A single-line email sealing the deal. The case was officially closed. I drained the beer, went indoors, secured the door, my door, and began drafting a list of everything else that needed attention around this house.